The leadership of the Catholic Church, a spiritual guide for over 1 billion people, is vested in one man, the Pope. His reign, known as a pontificate, is typically for life. Therefore, the most common way the papal throne becomes vacant is upon the death of the reigning pontiff. When a pope passes away, his authority and all the powers associated with his office cease at the very moment of his death. This event triggers a series of ancient and carefully prescribed procedures designed to ensure the stable governance of the Church during the transition. It is a moment of profound sadness and historical significance, marking the end of an era and the beginning of a period of uncertainty and anticipation for Catholics around the globe. However, a pope's death is not the only way his reign can conclude. The Code of Canon Law also provides for the possibility of a papal resignation. The modern era saw a groundbreaking example with the resignation of Pope Benedict XVI in February 2013. It was the first papal resignation in nearly 600 years, reminding everyone that the papacy is an office, not a permanent state of being. Whether through death or resignation, the result is the same. The Holy See enters a period known as the Sede Vacante. In the immediate aftermath of a pope's death, a set of specific and solemn rituals unfolds within the apostolic palace. The first official to be notified is the Cardinal Camerlengo of the Holy Roman Church. He, along with the master of papal liturgical celebrations and other senior Vatican officials, proceeds to the papal bedchamber. It is the Camerlengo's duty to officially ascertain the pope's death. Historically, this involved a grim ritual of tapping the late pope's forehead with a small silver hammer and calling out his baptismal name 3 times. While this specific practice has fallen out of use, the Camerlengo still makes the formal verification of death in the presence of witnesses. Once the death is officially confirmed, the process of notification begins. The Camerlengo informs the Cardinal Dean and the Cardinal Vicar of Rome. The Cardinal Vicar makes the official public announcement to the people of Rome and the world. A death certificate is drawn up, and the heavy bronze doors of St. Peter's Basilica are symbolically tolled. In the digital age, news spreads instantaneously via Vatican news outlets and global media, but the formal, step-by-step process ensures protocol and dignity are maintained. One of the most significant symbolic acts that follows is the destruction of the Ring of the Fisherman. This signet ring bears the image of St. Peter casting his nets and is engraved with the reigning pope's name. It is used to seal official papal documents. To prevent any fraudulent use during the Sede Vacante, the Camerlengo defaces and annuls the ring with a special hammer in the presence of other cardinals. The papal seal is similarly destroyed, the Frangitura dell'Anello, signaling that the pope's personal authority has ended. Following these initial procedures, the body is prepared, lies in state at St. Peter's, and the faithful observe the Novem Diales, 9 days of mourning. During the Sede Vacante, with no pope to govern, the Catholic Church is not left without leadership. The day-to-day administration of the Holy See falls to a key figure, the Cardinal Camerlengo. The title Camerlengo translates to Chamberlain, one of the most ancient and important roles in the Roman Curia. He acts as interim head of state for Vatican City and administrator of the Church's temporal goods and rights. His authority is strictly limited by apostolic constitution. He is not a temporary pope. He is a caretaker whose primary duty is to keep the Vatican running until a new pope is elected. One of his first duties is to officially seal the papal apartments, not just symbolic but a practical necessity to secure personal effects and papers. The seals prevent unauthorized access and formally close the chapter of the previous pontificate. The seals secure the late pope's personal effects in official papers. They ensure continuity and protect the Church's assets. The Camerlengo, with a vice-Camerlengo and other officials, presides over routine business through the particular congregation. They meet daily to address ordinary administrative matters, manage finances, safeguard properties, and arrange the Pope's funeral. He also coordinates conclave preparations, working with cardinals to ensure everything is ready to elect the next successor of Peter. Despite broad responsibilities, his power is carefully circumscribed to prevent undue influence. He cannot appoint bishops, create cardinals, or issue new doctrinal teachings. The Camerlengo's authority ends the moment the new pope accepts his election. With the papal throne empty, the governance of the universal church passes to the College of Cardinals. This authority is exercised collectively, not individually. Cardinals from every corner of the globe begin making their way to Rome as soon as they receive news of the Pope's death or resignation. All cardinals under 80 have the right and solemn duty to participate in the election. Those over 80 cannot vote, but are invited to offer counsel. These preliminary meetings are the general congregations, chaired by the dean of the college. If the dean is over 80, responsibility passes to the subdean or the most senior cardinal bishop. During these congregations, cardinals discuss the state of the church and the challenges it faces. They listen to financial reports from the Camerlengo, decide funeral arrangements, and set the timing of the conclave. General congregations also let cardinals get to know one another better. Many serve thousands of miles apart. They exchange views, assess needs, and discreetly evaluate potential papal candidates. Cardinals from Africa, Asia, Latin America, Europe, and North America all gather in one room sharing diverse perspectives. They take an oath of secrecy about what is discussed. This intense consultation and prayerful discernment shapes the profile of the Papabile. The cardinals are electors who hold the future of the papacy in their hands. Their gatherings in Rome are the first step in a sacred communal process to identify the next pope. The period of Sede Vacante is governed by a fundamental principle, nihil innovetur, meaning, let nothing be changed. This ancient rule underscores the caretaker nature of the Church during the interregnum. The College of Cardinals, even together, lacks the fullness of papal authority. Their power is limited to ordinary day-to-day business and matters that cannot be postponed. They maintain stability and organize the election of a new pope. They are guardians, not innovators. No one can alter the laws governing the papal election during Sede Vacante. The conclave rules are set by the previous pope in an apostolic constitution like Universi Dominici Gregis. The cardinals must follow those rules meticulously. They cannot make decisions requiring the Roman pontiff's assent, major doctrinal pronouncements, creation of new dioceses, or appointment or confirmation of bishops. All heads of the Roman Curia lose office the moment the papacy becomes vacant. This prevents department heads from influencing the pre-conclave period. The Church enters an administrative pause awaiting its new leader. The strict limitation protects the freedom of the future pope, so he inherits the patrine office with all powers intact. The cardinals ensure the next pontiff inherits the office unencumbered by major decisions made during the vacancy. As the 9 days of official mourning draw to a close, the cardinal's attention turns fully to the election of his successor. Preparations for the conclave are both logistical and spiritual. Conclave comes from Latin cum clave, with a key. It refers to locking the electors inside to ensure secrecy and swift decision. By law, the conclave must begin between 15 and 20 days after the see becomes vacant. The physical location is the magnificent Sistine Chapel. In the days leading up to the election, the chapel is transformed from an art museum into a sacred, secure electoral chamber. Special electronic jamming devices are installed to prevent communication with the outside world. Cell phones and listening devices are blocked and bug sweeps are performed. The goal is total isolation, free from external pressures. Cardinals reside in the Domus Sancti Marthae for the conclave, a modern residence within the Vatican. A change from past cramped conclave cells, this provides adequate lodging during the election period. The entire conclave area is sealed off from the outside world. Only a few authorized individuals, masters of ceremonies, confessors, medical staff, are allowed in, and they too are sworn to secrecy. Before the conclave, everyone involved must take a solemn oath of secrecy administered by the Camerlengo. Breaking this oath carries the penalty of automatic excommunication. This strict emphasis on secrecy protects the integrity of the process and ensures cardinals can deliberate freely, guided by prayerful discernment. On the morning the conclave begins, the cardinal electors gather in St. Peter's Basilica for the Pro Elegendo Romano Pontifex Mass. This Mass is a public prayer invoking the Holy Spirit. In the afternoon they process chanting the Litany of the Saints and singing Veni Creator Spiritus, Come Creator Spirit.
Inside, after a final oath of secrecy, the Master declares extra omnes, everybody out.
The Sistine Chapel doors are locked and the election begins. Voting is ritualized, up to 4 ballots a day, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. Each cardinal writes his choice on a rectangular ballot bearing Eligo in Summum Pontificem. He disguises his handwriting, folds the ballot, approaches the altar, and recites the oath invoking Christ as witness. 3 scrutineers chosen by lot count the ballots and read names aloud for tallying. A 2/3 majority is required. If not reached, ballots are burned producing black smoke, fumata nera, signaling no pope has been elected. When a candidate reaches 2/3 and accepts, ballots are burned again, producing white smoke, fumata bianca.
Soon after, the senior cardinal deacon appears and proclaims, Habemus Papam. We have a pope.
He presents the new pontiff to the city and the world. Centuries-old tradition ensures the church is never without a shepherd, as cardinals bridge to the next successor of Peter,